Hello viewers, welcome. I am on the floor of the Natural Products Expo West 2017 here in Anaheim, California. My name is Martin Caballero. I'm a senior reporter with BevNET, and I'm really pleased to be joined by Bob Arnold, the president of INVO Fresh Coconut Water. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having us. And I got the name right, INVO Fresh.
Yes, sir.
This is a new development. This is a new name.
This is a new development. Actually, our legal name was Creative Food Concepts when we actually started this whole company. The very first thing we have to do is establish a culture and an identity, and the first thing we need to do is have a company name that speaks to who we are. Sure.
And, you know, fresh start. We got some really exciting new products here.
There you have it.
The Coco Collisions line. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the interesting thing is these are all around 30 to 40% coconut water as the base, and you guys are using the coconut water that you obviously make, the pure coconut water. Tell us a little bit about the process. I know it's all done in-house in Thailand.
Yes.
Sort of what makes you stand out, makes you a little different?
So the first thing for INVO is we are the only coconut water that comes from Thailand that can say it's been farmed, harvested, cracked, bottled, and cold pressure protected, all on site at our state-of-the-art facility that we built in the heart of the groves in Thailand. It's a one-step manufacturing process with a continuous cold storage cycle. So we're actually able to come over, and when we bring over our base coconut water, it's all been done. We actually didn't need the use of co-packing. We don't thermally process. That gives us the freshest coconut flavor on the market, and we're really excited by it.
So that's the base, but the Coco Collisions is a pretty ambitious expansion for the brand platform.
Yeah.
It's how many different SKUs? It's 6 SKUs?
Yeah, so 6 SKUs.
Okay.
And what I would tell you is for us, we're an ambitious company. I mean, our intention is actually we have a 5-year product pipeline that's an extremely robust product pipeline with really the mother sauce being this base coconut water. And what we're proud of is the exact same coconut water that's in the base of those products, as you mentioned, you can actually buy on shelf. With the Coco Collisions, what we wanted to do is look at the cold pressed juice business, which we thought was actually a natural segment already since we're effectively sharing that case in that world. But that is still very much in a recruiting phase. And when you're in that recruiting phase, what we find is that you have a lot of people that are fairly intimidated still by the category. People are intimidated by coconut water still to this day. By blending this with our base coconut water, one, you raise the potassium. But two, what we are also able to do is take a cold pressed juice with no fillers. We don't use apple juice. We don't use any filtered water. We use things that have true functional benefit that are blended for the right appropriate flavor. And then with the base of coconut water, it just gives it a little bit more of a subtle refreshment to it. Our whole goal and vision is that we actually create beverages that are first refreshing that happen to have a functional benefit, not the other way around.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point to point out to viewers because. Yeah, we've seen other flavored coconut waters that have maybe some fruit infusions, but these are really pushing the functionality aspect, and they're actually pretty specific.
Yes.
On what sort of things that you address. Sort of what functions were you guys looking to sort of look into?
Yeah, so watermelon mint as an example. Again, all natural ingredients. There's nothing in there. So for that one, you have watermelon, mint, lemon, coconut water. Period. We have probiotics, 2 billion probiotics in that, so it's all about gut health. We have a C boost with things like bitter melon, which actually help reduce sugar. We also have camu camu, which is known as the vitamin C monster in the world in terms of superfruits. We use roots. For roots, we have functional benefits there for recovery. We also have our grapefruit greens, especially for the people who really like grapefruit, which can also help give vitamin absorption with grapefruit, along with the greens. And then we also have our detox, which is for that hardcore detox user, turmeric, honey, cayenne, lemon. All of those have a functional benefit, and we're continuing to look at our innovation of what we may want to be adding or taking away in the future.
And it's interesting that you're launching this all as one set, as you know they're all coming out at once. Why did you guys decide to go that route as opposed to maybe gradually introducing them? This is sort of a big expansion.
Yeah. So functional juices, it's a fairly broad and ambiguous category, and the people that right now are in functional juices as those heavy users, they typically use functional juices for one specific function. So if we end up just launching, say for example, greens, then the reality is we're only speaking to that consumer that's heavy into greens. If we're launching beets or roots, we're speaking to that one person. We wanted to speak to a number of people, but we also wanted to make sure that everyone understood that from the INVO brand, we first are giving you an unbelievable coconut water, and then we're taking that brand and that's going to now transcend into the functional juice category and really beyond as we look at our pipeline after this.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good place to go next. Where do you guys see yourself expanding that pipeline, and what further innovations can we see from INVO?
Innovation's endless. Right now, we probably won't share a lot, but I will tell you that you'll see some pretty profound entry points going into big categories as early as January in market, and then even next August. We're continuing to look at things that you would think they're logical for coconut, oils, alternative dairy. The coconut milk right now is actually rising pretty fast. We feel like we have things in all of these categories that can provide a really good, strong point of difference.
And I should also mention another interesting thing about the Coco Collisions is I understand they're launching as singles now, but later on you guys are looking to release them as a full set where people can sort of have, buy all of them at once. And that sort of plays into communicating the sort of much more functional aspect. Are you guys going to communicate sort of the how to use these and sort of use occasions for the different sort of things?
Yeah. We're looking at all of that right now, and I would tell you that today we're still very flexible in that learning phase. What we know is we have a great product with great, strong functional use. The first thing we want to do is have them go to market and then really understand the consumer and what they're doing with it and how they're consuming. And do they believe that this is something that's legitimate enough for that crossover for, call it cleanse light? If that is the case, then we certainly want to, explore that option.
Sure. So new name, obviously the new products. What about new places? Are you guys looking to expand distribution? Can you give us any update on that?
Aggressive expansion this year. We have a lot of great retail partners as it is, but this year we are actually on major fast forward. We have a lot of retail partners that we're just now finalizing and shoring up that will take us all across the country: Chicago, Texas, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, even more robust authorizations up and down the West Coast in California. We're also going up into the Pac Northwest, going into Colorado. All of that's actually taking place really beginning right now, all the way through June, July timeframe. We're really excited.
And that's going to be in the natural channel, or where are you guys looking to sort of build a retail?
Natural and mainstream, okay. And that's going to include traditional grocery as well as even club.
So another thing I wanted to ask you about is sustainability. I know that's something that you guys are very conscious of, and sort of using the whole coconut as opposed to just extracting the water and then having that waste. Sort of what initiatives, what kind of efforts are you guys looking into with that?
Yeah, so I get the question all the time from buyers, do you own these farms? And the answer is no, and the second response is we don't want to. We actually want to partner with these local farmers. It's one of the reasons why we built the facility right in the heart of the groves, essentially in the jungle, because we wanted to partner with these communities. What we've done also is when we looked at actually the coconut farming in Thailand, 80% of it is conventionally farmed. Only 20% is organically farmed. We actually have a growers program where every single year annually for the last 4 years, we've donated 120,000 disease-free saplings into these growers to continue that cycle. One of the requirements of that, however, though, is that they must be organically farmed. They must do that. So we don't use, it's pesticide-free. We actually use an invasive wasp instead of the use of pesticides. We take the husks and we actually use that in the composting and refortify the nutrients of the earth. So we are actually doing that, and we're doing that, and I think in a very sustainable way.
Great, and just to wrap up, I want to ask you real quick about the, I know you guys do some private label business. How's that going?
Yeah.
Is it a pretty strong part of your business?
Yeah, private label is great for us, and it's not a big chunk of our business, nor is it a huge focus for us. We do have some really good partners, and we want to maintain those partnerships. Our bigger thing right now is introducing people to a category that is still rapidly growing. When you think about the category right now, people are still saying this category is going to triple in the next 5 years. That means you have to recruit. And if you're going to have to recruit and you're going to get to a category that could be nearly a $3 billion category, then the reality is you have to bring people in that are in the mainstream, that are people that are maybe a little bit more intimidated, that they don't know what to think about when they come in. For us, our first focus is giving people the best tasting coconut water they can possibly see and experience. Whether that comes through the private label sector or whether that comes through our INVO brand, that's our focus and that's our goal.
Great. Well, hey, thanks so much for joining us, Bob. Have a great time in the rest of the show, and hope to speak to you soon.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.